WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it.
Now we're getting back into your wheelhouse. We got a super card to talk about here, UFC 285.
Yeah, this one is stacked, Andy, and I don't know if I'm even the smartest one in the room anymore with UFC. Would you like to introduce our guest?
It's 285. I knew a guy that knew a guy. Now I know the guy.
You know the guy.
We are talking about Shane Allgood out of Nebraska City. You carry some clout with you. Do some training with some of these guys.
Yeah, I got a few.
Yeah, he's got a few.
He's got a few,
Listen to this guy.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy. Total sharp over here. We're going to start with the undercard, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted to start with DDP, the South African, taking on the American, Derek Brunson. And, Brunson is a plus 190 underdog. And I don't think I'm hearing too much of an argument for that line.
Well, the whole thing about it is that Brunson is 39 going into this fight. He's an older fighter, but he still packs a punch. And I still think he's an elite level competitor in the UFC. So I don't dislike the line for him. I think Brunson definitely has a chance to win this. I would just like to hear your take on it.
Well, Shane, he's the number 5 contender compared to DDP, who's the number 10 contender right now in this weight class. So, I mean, what gives? Why is DDP such a big favorite here at minus 225?
I think a lot of it has to do with that he's only 4 fights in, 4 or 5 fights in on the UFC. So I think, Brunson, my main concern with him is he's used the R word. He's talked about retirement.
Yeah.
And anytime you get a guy, especially in this sport, that starts to use that word or throw it around, and at 39, you're kind of going, if your last name's not Teixeira, I'm probably going to bet against you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's got amazing power, and he's a formidable wrestler. His grappling's very good. But DDP has an amazing guillotine.
Yes.
I mean, a fantastic guillotine, and you can't sleep on it. You can't get lazy. You can't get tired. So, and he's got power. He's a very good striker. So if he lights him up and Brunson decides to go to the ground,
that's not good for Brunson.
No, not at all.
It's not good
at
all.
I would take DDP.
Yeah, the only thing here that DDP does get sloppy at some points just because, he's kind of younger and everything, and the American has lights out power. I still like DDP in this one, so we are on the same track on this one.
Let's go 3 for 3. I'm just going to agree with you guys. I don't want to start this show, this segment off wrong.
I like it.
And there's no way I'm going against Shane. All good, man.
Yeah, all good.
Let's move up on that undercard here. Jones from Guam taking on Garbrandt.
Cody Garbrandt.
From the American, and he is the minus 170 odds-on favorite.
Yeah, Cody Garbrandt's career has fallen so far since he was the Bantam title holder in 2016. In 7 years since that, he's fought just 6 times and only won once.
Ouch.
All but one of those defeats came by knockout.
Jeez.
And, it says a lot that he's only a small favorite against a less proven fighter on, a 3-bout losing skid on Saturday. But I think the UFC is kind of trying to prop him up for a win here. I don't know if that's,
Jones has only got a 13-9 overall record. I mean, he's sitting there at about 500. He's 135. Your guy's 135. What gives here, Shane?
Well, I think the big statistic is Jones only has 3 knockouts.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the UFC is kind of giving
him a
Garbrandt. And let me look at the camera and say I'm a huge no-love fan. Huge no-love fan. But since he put on that master clinic against Dominic, it's just been downhill.
It has been.
And a lot of it's been self-inflicted. He didn't have to fight Dillashaw the way he fought.
No,
Dillashaw.
he did not.
He let emotion come into that, whereas Dominic let emotion come into his fight.
Agreed.
With Garbrandt.
Yes.
And so he got clipped. And here's my concern is I don't know that time fixes your chin. And I know that Jones doesn't have a huge punch, but it's like, Kai Kara France was a much smaller fighter.
For sure.
But you also cut a lot of weight, and sometimes that makes you a little more susceptible to getting knocked out. But I will tell you, I'm going to take Garbrandt because I think he's got the power to end this fight.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I will not be shocked if his chin is gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. I mean, there's not a lot he can do about it. But I wish he'd go back to he fell in love with his boxing. I think it's because of his uncle or I can't remember his uncle or his dad.
So, one of his family members.
Yeah, fantastic boxing coach.
Yep.
Okay.
But his background is he's an amazing grappler,
Yes.
and we don't see it. And I'd like, if you're gonna maybe try to repair your chin, go to your grappling.
Get back to what got you to this spot here.
And I even think, even with a loss here, the UFC is likely still going to promote this guy just because I think he has such a following, such a brand. He's one of the most known fighters just, by appearance. And he's only 31 still. So he does have a chance to turn this tide. And I think this is the first fight in that no love redemption story. So give me Cody Garbrandt as well.
His official record is still pretty good in the UFC. I mean, it's just that he's lost the last, what did you guys say, 3-4 fights. I mean, overall, he's 12-5. That's a great professional record.
It really is.
Let's also not forget there was a gentleman that we all know, the Bronx,
Yeah.
was on a skid. He lost a lot of fights. He wasn't doing great.
Yeah.
He put it
Good
back
point.
together. And Garbrandt's got a fantastic team in Alpha Male.
Yes, he does.
Uriah Faber, if someone could turn you around and get you going again,
That's
the
him.
guy.
That's him.
Agreed.
All right, should we move up to the main card?
Let's do it.
On the main event?
Yeah.
We got the number 7 contender hailing out of Poland, Gamrad.
Yeah.
He is the minus 215 favorite over Jalen Turner, who is also a top 10 contender, number 10 there, hailing from the United States. He's at a plus 185, so nothing too far out of line there.
Yeah. I love Gamrad. We talk about him on the show quite a bit. He heads into this weekend's fight following a unanimous decision loss to Darush at UFC 280, which, Darush is one of the best in the biz.
It's only one of his two losses. It's only one of his two losses,
Before that loss, Gamrad had rattled off 4 consecutive victories, like we were just saying, finishing 3 of those opponents, 2 by TKO, 1 by submission. I just think that this might be a little bit too much for Jalen Turner, a little too early.
It looks that way.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But the one thing is, Jalen's young. He's surging. I mean, you look at this. He's got a TKO, a submission, a TKO, a submission. This guy is riding. It reminds me a lot of Teixeira's last fight.
There you go.
Hill coming in, riding so much confidence.
Yeah.
Did he have it? I honestly believe Teixeira was probably still a better fighter, but Hill was so confident. And so I'm going to go with Gamrad because I think he can, in his head, put it like, okay, I lost to Dariush, but I mean, there's no shame in that.
He's 21-2. He's 21-2 as a UFC pro here. And as far as the experience goes, Turner might be on a heater, but he's only 13-5.
Yeah, agreed, Andy. But the one thing that I look at Turner that he has a real shot in this fight is his pace. His pace is so fast. He nearly doubles Gamrot's significant strikes per minute, 6.48 versus 3.26. So this guy comes after you, and he comes at you furious and fast.
Absolutely right. I will say one thing, though, with Gamrot, the Sarukian fight.
Yeah.
He was able to take that to a decision.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think if he can handle him and take him to a decision, take Dariush, I think if he can put that one in the rear view, I really think that he can slow this fight down and he can fight at his pace.
I'm kind of surprised neither of you guys have brought up to me something that jumps off at the paper, and that's Turner is 6'3". Gamrot's only 5'10". 7-inch reach advantage for the American here. It's not going to play in this one, or what?
Well, I think it always plays.
It always plays, yeah.
But here's the thing with Turner, he like you said, his pace sometimes leaves him open, leaves him sloppy. And a guy like Gamrad, I mean, this guy before the Dariush fight, it was like, man, this is the guy to watch. But again, Beneil, I mean, there's no shame in losing to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing I want to look at here and get your kind of take on this fight on the main card here. It's a plus 115 to go over 2.5 rounds. So that would mean it's plus money to actually finish the fight of the 3-round bout. Do you think that's a good bet? Can it make it that far? Or do you think one of these fighters ends it before that?
Well, it depends on how you're looking at it. If you're looking at it for Turner, then you're saying this isn't going the distance. I mean, he's won for round 1, round 2, round 1. He comes out, like you said, a crazy pace, puts it on you. But I do think it goes. I think it could go to the distance because I do think Gamrot is so at his fighter IQ.
Yeah.
Not taking a
just
shot at
technical,
Turner, but his fight IQ is so high.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's why I think he's going to have a great game plan. Like I said, you take Dariush and you beat Sarkisian.
Yeah.
I'm going to butcher that again.
It's all good. It's all good.
But you take them to a decision.
Yeah.
What says there's nothing that tells me you can't take this guy to a decision? survive round 1.
Yep.
Wear him down round 2. Get there. I really think it will.
No, I totally agree, and I love that you said that because that was my best bet of this fight. It's plus money, and I really think that Gamrad is the smarter fighter, the more technical fighter, and will be able to dodge that first round by Jalen Turner trying to come and knock him out in that first round, and Gamrad will kind of coast to victory in rounds 2 and 3. So I really like Gamrad to win this fight, and I really like over 2.5 at the plus 115.
And this is a lightweight bout against a couple top 10 contenders in that weight class. You really think the book's just been written on Turner and he can't change gears at all? He's just going to – that's who he is. He's going to come out so aggressive like that?
Well, I think this is
even if everyone's sitting on it waiting for it?
Well, I just think this is his first, like, real big fight. You know what I mean? And this is the one to prove, and I just think he's going to be so amped up for it that Gamrad's going to have such a good defense against him surging so early that I just think it's going to be – I think Turner's going to be – whiffing by 2 and 3, trying to get that knockout still. And I think Gamrad will have a very good defense for that.
And this is a great learning moment, I think, for Turner. Now,
agreed.
Listen, if you're going to take an upset on this card, it might be Turner knocking him out, catching him, clipping him. But what I would say is I think Turner's going to learn from this. And like you said, they always say a zebra can't change its stripes or whatever. he right now, there's no reason for him to change his pace and is reckless sometimes as he comes in because it's working and he's surging right now.
Yeah.
But I think after fighting a guy like Gamrad, he's going to look at it and say, okay, at the top level, maybe I need to become a little more technical. Yeah. Maybe I need to have a little better game plan. So that's how I see this fight going.
And like you just said, we're not close enough to Saturday yet to see, the lines for knockout and submission and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you're on Turner, we're not telling you not to pick him. Look at that win by KO because that's how he's going to do it if he wins.
That's the bet. That's the bet.
That's the bet. And you got to think that's going to be a plus money. You just heard the
big
horn there.
Plus money.
That means we're up against it. And I like the plus money bets.
For sure.
Especially if I'm doing UFC, right?
There you go.
All right, before we let everyone go, let's take a quick minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. What do you think? We need to run it back, right? We still got a lot of this main card left.
We got 3 more fights on the main card and maybe a little parlay play.
A little parlay play. What do you think of that, Shane?
I like it. I like it.
You're going to stick around, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.